Hi, this is Terry Ensberg. Here's a fun quote from Agatha Christie. Sitting here with one's knitting, one just sees the facts. I feel this way. I have a peculiarity of thinking that I don't have the filter that most people have that makes them look at a set of facts and think, nah, that's not true. That's not reality. And I'll give you two examples, and I'm wondering if my grandchildren will turn out like this, or any of them will. Before COVID came to the United States, it was in China. Started in, or as far as we know, Wuhan. And I fell into watching YouTube videos by an Irish teacher who taught in Wuhan. And he was a very calm person, not hysterical, but just he recorded his day-to-day experience of being in an absolutely enforced lockdown, very, very strict, like only an authoritarian government can do. And I don't know why, but I started listening to his or watching his story. And as I was watching it, it dawned on me it's going to happen here. It's going to come here. I live on the West Coast in the Los Angeles area, and we have tremendous traffic between here and China. And anything, this is my theory, anything that happens in China will land here within a week. And I was watching him go through this for, I don't know, a couple weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and thinking, it's coming here, it will do it. And other people did not see that the same way. They were like, that's there, it's not going to be that big a deal, it may trickle here a little bit, we'll catch it. And I was starting to get very nervous about our office. I thought the government will have to close down here too, and they will close our office. What are we going to do? So I started telling people, our employees, you need to get ready to work remotely from home. And we need to know what kind of computers you have so we can figure out what is compatible between office equipment and what you have at home. And Steve took it seriously, to his credit. So this did not impact other people as realistic. Other people just thought, no, it's too outlandish, it's never happened before, that's an hysterical reaction. And I just pushed, and what finally happened was we got everyone set up working remotely like a day before we got closed down. It was very close. So, and then another situation that has come up is that the United States Postal Service is running out of money. People are starting to not get their mail because there isn't enough money to pay overtime. So mail carriers stop working at the end of their shift, whether they've delivered all the mail or not. And this was pretty clear last spring that we were headed this way, that the money, because of some really incredibly stupid legislation passed by Congress, that the post office was set up to go broke. And then President Trump made other decisions that impacted it even more. So last spring I was saying, if you have prescriptions that are delivered by mail, you should rethink that because the post office is going to go broke. And people were saying, no, it's the U.S. Post Office. It's been around for hundreds of years. 2 plus 2 does not equal 4 in this situation. And my thought was, like everyone else, they operate on money, and if they don't have money, they can't put gas in their trucks, they can't meet payroll. I mean, they have the same limits that the rest of us have. So there's, when you're out of money, you're out of money. It's that simple. It doesn't matter who you are. So again, other people seem to have a filter, or like a plausibility filter, where they could look at the same facts that I could look at and say, this does not equal reality. This is not familiar. This is nothing we've ever seen. This is not going to go where you would think it would go. This has been a great frustration in my life. And I think that people are right to have that filter, because a lot of times it could be a form of catastrophizing where you say, oh my God, the post office is failing, blah, blah, blah. And then at the last minute, Congress passes something that saves it. That so often happens that it doesn't really, if you have a choice, make sense to go around thinking that the worst is going to happen. But in my case, I don't have a choice because my mind works that way. My mind says 2 plus 2 do equal 4. And a lot of times nobody does step in and save the day. Like nature does take its course. This is so frustrating to me in every situation, in every historical development where other people will see minor movements on the surface of the earth. I will see tectonic plates shifting and feel that things will not be the same. And the current one, and I may not live to see the outcome of this, is I don't think our country will hold together. It turns out there are quite a few people in this country who do not agree with the Constitution or the outcome of the Civil War. So they really deeply do not hold the values that everyone is equal and has a right to live a good life. They don't feel that that's true for Muslims or black people or whoever. I mean, they really feel it's a white Christian world. And I used to think that was the lunatic fringe, and now I understand it's the lunatic center, and that constitutes maybe 40% of the population. And that's been a very hard pill for me to swallow over the last 4 years, which are the Trump presidency. I had no idea. But I can see now he's a symptom. They chose him. Those people chose him because he represents their values. He's a symptom of a huge rift in the country where we don't share each other's values enough to be a country. So again, other people say, no, that can't be true. And to me, I think this is a 200-year experiment. That's not very long in historical terms. The experiment has failed. It may not play out in my lifetime. It may take decades for the collapse to become final. But I do think that's where it's going. Just like the Roman Empire took a long time to fall apart finally. I mean, to really finish falling apart. It was a process. And I think we're in that process now. So I tell you this because I want to know, I wish I could know, if my grandchildren, when they grow up, will have this same problem that I do. And I so appreciate the wit of Agatha Christie. Sitting here with one's knitting, one just sees the facts. That says it for me. So thank you for listening. I really appreciate it. See you next time. Bye.